Hello, everyone. Hey, wanted to drop you some big news that came out on the financial markets this morning, and we got an inflation reading, and it was a hot one. We knew this was going to come out. We knew inflation was going to start spiking higher, but actually ended up being much higher than was anticipated. So let me just drop you a few headline numbers here. So with inflation, they give us two numbers. One is the headline number. We look at month over month and then year over year. And then they give us a number that takes out food and energy just because it's very volatile. So inflation, what did it do? It went up. Month over month, they were expecting an increase of 0.2%. It actually went up 0.8%. That is a large jump. That's actually a very large miss on the economists to miss it by that much. I don't know, maybe we need to find some new economists. I mean, based on the huge miss on the jobs report and the same thing on the inflation report here as well. Year over year, though, this is where it starts getting pretty interesting. Inflation, they were expecting inflation to be up about just a little over 3% on the headline number overall. That's now 4.2%. So basically, we've seen inflation year over year over the last month has now doubled. So we were under 2%. Now we are over 4%. So interesting things, what we're seeing. Once we strip out food and energy, same type of thing. Another giant miss as far as with the economists. They're expecting an increase of 0.3. It was 0.9. So even when you strip out food and energy, inflation still up around 3%. Still a significant number. So what is inflation? Inflation is too many dollars chasing too few goods. Again, you have too much money chasing too few goods. So this gets back to just economics 101. What you need to have a sustainable economy, and you need to produce goods and services. That's what drives an economy. Producing goods and services, and then what happens from that? Then that creates spending. So once you spend, then that allows money to circle back around and be able to produce more goods and services and things like that. But in this crazy world that we're living in, this is all reversed. We're not trying to drive our economy by producing things. We're trying to drive our economy through spending and consumption. So how's that happening? Well, it's all this stimulus checks, all this government spending, all that type of stuff. Is people have this extra money. If I go and spend it, well, I want to spend it on items, but I can't get items. Why? Because no one's making anything. Why? Because no one's working, because we're paying you money not to work. So this is kind of all backwards as far as what we normally should be seeing. But let me just give you a few numbers. I was kind of diving into some of this stuff just to get a little sense of where are prices going up and things like that. And some of these you might be aware of. A few obvious ones. Oil is up 160%. It's up over 10% just in the last month. Again, if you start taking out supplies, you start losing a pipeline, things like that, that's just going to push oil prices up. Oil prices up. What else goes up? Gas prices. Gas prices up over 50%. Right now, we're at the highest level at the gas pump in 7 years. I know a lot of people were out buying bikes last year, so we might just be all riding our bikes a little bit more come the summer. A few other items as it relates to if anyone's out shopping for a new home and they're looking at newly built homes, the cost of lumber, we know this is going up. Cost of lumber is up nearly 400% in the last year. And when prices of that goes up, naturally, the cost has to go up for builders. And again, that'll end up translating to higher purchase prices on new builds as well. And one other interesting thing that I saw too, since how do we buy a lot of our stuff? We're on Amazon, online, things like that. How do things come? They come in boxes, things are packaged, things like that. Just the packaging material themselves is up 52%. So you can see things are going up and up and up. And until we can just open our economies, get people back to work, things will start flowing back in again, and we start to get everything will start to get more back into balance. Then maybe we'll start to see prices start to readjust again. Some of these prices are too high, and at some point it'll cycle back down. As far as some of these numbers, we're actually probably going to see inflation go up even a little bit higher next month. And it's how this is calculated because we're replacing numbers from a year ago when things were shut down. But as we get into the end of the summer, a lot of this stuff should start to reverse back. Things will come down. We're not going to go back to where we were before, but will be interesting to see. How is this impacting some of the other areas? Stocks selling off. Why? Prices are higher, costs for materials, things like that are higher. It's going to squeeze margins. It's going to look to make their bottom line worse. Stocks are going to come down. The Dow's down almost 1,000 points just in the last few days. So not necessarily a surprise there. Some of those prices were a little frothy on the stock side as well. So how will this sort of impact things going forward? It'll be interesting. Normally, if we start to see inflation spike like this, we would see interest rates going up because we want to control inflation, that type of thing. Again, interesting times here. I think we anticipate the Fed is going to continue to go in and try to keep interest rates lower. Their thinking is this is going to be short-lived, and as we get into the end of the year, we might be having a different discussion, concerned about if we're now going to start seeing an economy that might start to slow and if prices will start to roll over. So interesting times. Just need to get back, hopefully everyone working, and then hopefully these rising prices will be short-lived. So with that little bit of bright news, hope everyone has an awesome rest of your day.